here for a little From the Rack weekly quick news. Not really a ton sort of going on this week, so hopefully this will be a bit of a shorter one. First things, German Throwdown is posting who's confirmed, because that is going off on the 11th and 12th-ish weekend of November. And they've got Christoph Horvath, Andrea Solberg, Kevin Winkins, Linda Kiesman, Luka Ducic, Katharina Eisel, and Moritz Fiebig as their committed athletes at this point. So that's looking like it could be pretty fun.
Yeah, it's good to see like a few games and a few games level athletes go to it. I think about kind of as this new season structure progresses, especially in Europe so far this off season, like there's almost just a professional tour of CrossFit events. Like really this has ended up being what Sanctionals was going to be if it just continued to roll through. It's just every 3 or 4 weeks there's a competition. There'll be kind of half a dozen games athletes that'll go and really will supplement kind of their training. I would imagine that Luka Ducic, it's probably made enough just traveling through all these off-season events this year to cover living expenses for another year of training, and definitely made more through all of those than he would have if he went to the games last year when he finished 25th-ish at the games. So it's exciting to see, and I think this might be a precursor of what we see in North America next year now that CrossFit's taking over the semifinals. So to have more events like that in North America would be sweet to see. Like there's the big ones with Rogue and Wadapalooza, but there's no reason that MAC and Syndicate Crown can't be in, September, October, West Coast Classic, Granite Games. Like I imagine they're still going to live on one way, shape, or form. So it's kind of exciting to see. Gives us a little bit more to follow in the off season just to see these athletes progress too.
Yeah, and it's these competitions that I think most of them like existed before they became sanctional, so then now they're not anymore. That it's great to see them still like sort of have weathered all the different storms that are going through. But yeah, the whole like European tour, like Adrian Moonweiler's been at I don't know how many competitions in like a month. Like he's definitely put in the work and pounding the pavement to make some money in the sport of CrossFit. It'd be great to see that happen with all those sanctional to semifinal type events in North America come back and entice some big names and have them make some money more than like once a year. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see again. Gives them some earning potential. Just so much has been focused on the games and like Rogue. There's a good prize purse, but it's such a limited field. So like this gives more people options to make some cash, and then it also gives opportunity for people to kind of stand out in comparison and kind of foreshadow next year. Like Solveig Sigurdardottir, she won one of the Madrid events last year, which kind of hit the radar that way and then ended up at the games this year. So I'm sure once all these events play out, there'll be somebody who stands out with on top of the podium that we'll see at Madison next year.
Yeah, it's definitely like a building feeder system for the sport, which is great. More CrossFit, it's always better.
Yes, more time on the floor is also good because like there's 2 years where everything was online, and there's definitely some athletes that shined in the open style competitions that got beat up a bit on the competition floor. So just again, more experience is good for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and then switching into a little bit of Rogue news. If you haven't seen it, they did a little sneak peek of the overhead log lift with Christy-Armo O'Connell doing it. Now I think I've seen Bellner playing with one and Olsen playing with one. So CrossFit's going strong, man.
Yeah. Well, it's good to say it's not surprising that at Rogue there will be a strongman event in the CrossFit field. I don't know. Maybe they'll make the strongman guys do Fran or something. But I think it'd be fun to see. I think that definitely Boz's programming definitely led that way as well during the games. There's with the sandbag cleans and the Husfeldstone, which was also at a bunch of semifinals, the Farmers Carry. So again, just a little bit more all around fitness things. So it'll be exciting to see. And just, I don't know. I don't know if all these CrossFit gyms just happen to have one of these logs in there, or if, Rogue sent one out to everybody so they had some chance to practice. But yeah, there's Annie Thor's daughter had one. I imagine BKG was also using it in Iceland as well. So it'll be a fun event. And again, similar to the sandbag cleans that everybody was kind of ho-hum about it when it announced, but it ended up being, super exciting and electric. So hopefully there's that same type of a feeling when it's not a foregone conclusion who's going to win.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. I like that it's this is what off-season events should be. Test them differently in different styles of things. That's the point of functional fitness, is to be able to figure out how to do most things. So yeah, it'll be super fun to see how that plays out. And then another Rogue News thing is Henrik Haapalainen is in. Guy Malheiros is out. He's no longer on their competitor list. And Henrik confirmed it on his Instagram as well that he is coming to Rogue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see him have that opportunity. I think he was sixth in the qualifier, so just on the outside. He was there last year. He was 24th in the game, so kind of had a bit of a regression over this year in comparison to the previous year, but that can always happen. I guess the biggest question for me is, why Guy isn't there.
I've seen someone, I'm not going to say who because I really honestly cannot remember who, somewhere in the world of Instagram, made it lead to believe there's visa issues happening.
Yeah, okay.
So Guy's Instagram, he's definitely not in the US right now. I think he's back home. So yeah, maybe he was here on a certain length of visa, stayed through the games, went back home, and then now is in the application process for something longer. And you can't come to the States while you're in that process. So he's sacrificing Rogue, but hopefully he'll get something nice and long that he can come and go however he wants.
No, I guess that makes sense. He did spend all of last year in Cookville, so yeah, hopefully you can get that sorted out.
Yeah, and like Ellie Turner almost got stuck in Canada, missing the moment too. So like, if they dot their I's and cross their T's to get through the games, running into off-season things, as much as Rogue's a massive earning opportunity, like if you're going to have something slide, you're going to take the off-season to take care of it. So that's that on those guys for Rogue. And then another Chrissy Ermo O'Connell, she PR'd her marathon from her pre-CrossFit days by over 6 minutes with a 3 hours and 4 minutes marathon, which is awesome.
Yeah, to say the least. I don't know. Like, that's super impressive to put up that time in general. Which also, like, we're 2.5 months from the CrossFit Games. So I imagine she had some downtime in there to recover from that. So I doubt she was putting in a ton of long runs leading up to that. So even if she started her training in, Labor Day, like, it's really impressive to see, and that just that fitness carries over. So
yeah, #fitness. Yeah. And then another fitness feat was Noah Olsen and his little Fran time. What was his time, Dave?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a little Fran time. 149.
Very, very little.
Yeah. 149 during the Wodapalooza qualifiers, which, again, he says 10-second PR there. So fastest known recorded time. So yeah, it was impressive all in its own. I guess thinking through this, what's even more impressive is he was doing it as a demo video for a qualifier and was still able to get a 149. So maybe you'd be, see something like this at the games or the program semifinals to see some of these, classic girl wads or, some of the events from the early CrossFit Games coming back to see just how much it's progressed. Because, I doubt these guys do Fran very often given their physical state. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, and we do so many versions of those, or not we see so many versions of these WODs now, which are fun, great, creative, all that. But it's kind of nice to see just, yeah, progress within like as prescribed, originally programmed. Crazy.
So I was just looking at this. Fran was, I think, in 28 or 2008 games. Here, I'm just kind of pulling up the history here on this fantasy fitnessing there, full competition history and event breakdown. But so this would have been the second CrossFit Games. I'm just trying to see what the times were for this one.
Fran in the 2008 CrossFit Games, Chris Spieler did it in 3 minutes and 1 second, and Linda Leeper did it in 5 minutes and 6 seconds. And then it was also in the 2012 Games, and Camille LeBlanc-Basnet did it in 2 minutes and 35 seconds, and Scott Panchek did 2 minutes and 41 seconds.
Wow.
So I raced Dave to look that up, and I went to allthewads.com and just searched for Fran. And it pulled up 2 different Frans, one from each Games. So I won.
You won.
allthewads.com versus Fantasy Fitnessing. Both have lots of info to search things up, which is where Dave and I search most things up. So, but just so we know, one for me.
Yeah. So I guess 10 years, and we've dropped the minute off the time, which again,
that was under 3 minutes to begin with.
So we've gone from under 3 minutes to under 2 minutes. So basically, cut a third off of it over the past decade, which that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, super impressive. But I think that's it for this week. Those are our quick little snippets of news. Make sure you check out the From the Rack section on fantasyfitnessing.com and follow at from.the.rack.news on Instagram. And we try and feed out these little bits of things there. So, I think that's it for this week. We'll see you next week.